Welcome to this introductory series of training videos for SolidCAM. This video's topic is drilling operation in the milling module. So to distinguish between the drilling operation you'll find in the turning module, this video is going to focus only on the milling drilling toolpath that you can do in the milling module or the mill turn module. For the drilling turning operation, I'll refer you to the introductory series to turning video where we cover that. In addition, this is an intro to the drilling operation. There's a few things in here that you'll find expanded in terms of explanation in the drilling versus drill recognition video on our YouTube channel. So again, you can refer to that for an expanded version of the advanced functions of this toolpath. But in a basic sense, we'll be doing the drilling operation. Drilling operation covers anything really that just moves in the Z direction. So things like spot, drill, tap, ream, certain boring cycles can be found in the drilling operation. So pretty much anything very simply just moving in the Z direction. And to get to the drilling operation, you can go to your SolidCAM Operations tab, 2.5D. You'll find drilling right there. In the SolidCAM 2.5D, you can find that icon right there. Or again, you can just do it the old way, right-click on Operations, add milling operation, and drilling. To add an operation anywhere in this list, let's say I want to drill after I've done all this pocketing and profiling, I'll just right-click on the last one, add milling operation, and then I can just go to drilling. The workflow of the Operation Manager is the same as all our toolpaths. We have geometry, we choose our tools, the levels, and we go to technology. So we're going to start with the geometry. In the geometry, we'll just click on New Geometry. And the geometry selection for the drilling operation is just going to be drill points. Those drill points could be vertices off the solid, they could be sketch points, they can even be the center of circles. The way that this geometry selection window works is if I had a sketch point, I could choose a sketch point, I could choose a vertice as my drill point, or more accurately, we're probably going to be looking at these holes. So you have a couple options. You can either click on the circle edge, and if it's a complete circle with a definable radius, if I click on that, it finds the center of that circle. If I were looking to drill a hole that maybe isn't completely flat, but it definitely does have this circular extrusion, I can click on the cylindrical wall, and I can make a drill point at the top center of that hole. But one of the functions that's really useful in this particular window is the fact that we can do a face selection. So I'm going to choose all the circles, if you see here on my filter, all the circles of that face. So if I click on that, you can see it shows all 4 holes of that face. I might actually want to include those corner rads as well. So what I can do is I can do include arcs. And if I click on that face, any arc in that surface is determined to be a drill point as well. So the center of those arcs. But from the looks of this, I'm not looking to drill all those holes and arcs with the same drill. I probably want to distinguish between just the corner rads. Maybe I'm doing some pre-drill of those pockets. So if I jump out and jump back in, let's apply the include arcs. But this time, not all the circles. I just want to distinguish them by their radius. If I know the radius of those corner arcs or any holes I'd like to drill, I can type it in. Or I could just say by radius and then get SolidCAM to record the radius for me. So I want that arc right there to represent the radius I'm looking to drill because it's probably the same all the way around. And if not, I can just do this again and again with different radii. So I'll just click the green check mark. Now, including arcs of only a certain radius, when I click on that face, I only get the arcs that I'm looking for. I'm looking to pre-drill those holes like that. So I'll just click the green check mark, and that's my geometry. If I go to Tool, I'll just click on Select, and I'll just select a drill from the list here. So we'll just go to the drill section, and I'm just going to add a drill to my list. To define milling tools, I'll refer you to the Creating Milling Tools video in this introductory series. I'm just going to grab this drill here. And I'm not even really sure what size it is. I'm just going to do this as an example. I'm just going to use this drill. Let's go to levels. So the levels control in the drilling is very similar to what you would find in the pocketing or profiling video. It has a few differences that are helpful for the actual idea that you're doing drilling here. And the first is under upper level, we always have user defined. I can always highlight this 0, click on that top face to get that associativity, but I can also do it to updated stock. What the updated stock actually is referring to is the stock as a result of all the previous toolpaths. So you can imagine, if we look at these holes down here, I might want to drill from this face down, But if I haven't even had a chance to actually finish that face, or I haven't even milled out this pocket, I don't want to start right on that face. I want to start where the stock starts. That way I'm not crashing into the stock inadvertently. I want to make sure that this thing is safe. So by doing it by updated stock, that particular hole, in this case my arc here, it's going to start wherever the stock is. It'll read from my updated stocks. There's a level of stock recognition inside of this toolpath. Otherwise, I could just click on the top edge of that hole, and then it becomes user defined. Same with the drill depth. I actually have two options here that are a little different. Top of hole actually allows me to say wherever the top of that hole is, defined by my upper level, and then I can give it a depth from there using the delta button. So I actually can set this up maybe for things like a template, or if I want to just copy and paste this every single time, and I just know I want to go a certain depth from the top of the hole. I don't actually want to click on a face, because that will make it user defined. And that will always define it as going down to that particular face, or always going down to that particular level. But if I want the toolpath to read from the top of the hole going down, if I know, let's say this is a tapping operation, and I only want to tap from the top of the hole by a certain amount, regardless of how much I've pre-drilled the hole, then I can set this to top of hole, and then I can just put a delta from the top of that hole. Likewise, I can go to the bottom of the target. Maybe this is a through hole, and it always needs to be a through hole. If I set this up as a template, or I'm doing a copy and paste, and I'm not looking at my levels, and I just want this to always be a through hole, I can set it to the bottom of the target. And then this will always drill from the top of the hole, if I say updated stock, to the bottom of the target. And again, a little box here that says from the upper level. So this is actually going to be from the top of whatever I've chosen as my hole down to the bottom of the target. And if I want to go a little bit past the bottom of the target, again, I could just put a little bit of a delta in there. But in our case, we're actually going to stop right there. And that leads me to my depth type. With this drill actually is a proper drill. It has that cone tip, that 118-degree cone on the tip there. So I don't probably want to drill just to this face here. I might want to bottom out the drill so I get a nice flat surface there. Or in the case of this particular part, I need to keep this face clean. I want to maybe just take the tip of the drill to that point. Or in other scenarios, I might be using a countersinking tool, and I want to just dip the tip of the drill just enough to make that countersink. Well, each of these options allows us to do that. With the cutter tip, you can see that it actually is defining the drill type to that actual tip. So it's going to look at the definition of my drill, see where I put the bottom of the drill, the tip of the drill, and take it right to that tip there. If I wanted to bury the tip of the drill at that level, I can always say full diameter. You can see now that the dimension is to the full diameter of the drill. So depending on what the tip looks like, if it's a proper standard drill or if it's some sort of unique drill with a different angle on the tip, it'll look at the definition of my drill and know exactly where to bottom out the drill to get that full diameter. And if it is a countersinking tool, I can just check this box here, and then it'll dip the tip of the drill to achieve that particular diameter on the cone. And again, it's going to look at my tool shape definitions to find out exactly where that diameter sits on the tip of my drill. But in this case, I'm going to do cutter tip because I'm not looking to gouge my part. Go to technology. Again, very simple toolpath. So all you're really controlling in the technology is the sorting of my drills, my drill points. So default is the order that they were selected in. And if you recall from my previous selection, the previous window, if we just review that, it actually is going in this direction and then going around. And I probably want that to be a nice circular one. So I probably won't go with the default. If I go with shortest distance, as the name implies, it's really just going to find the shortest distance between those points. And again, in my case, it probably is just going to end up being the same thing. I can go to advanced and then choose a pattern. So in my case, I'll choose circular, and I'll just get it to go around in one particular direction. On the right side, you can choose your drill cycle type. So according to your post, you'll see different icons here. And in this case, the post I'm using has the option of choosing all the different drill cycle types. If I wanted to do a G81, that's enough just information there. But if I choose something like a G83, it opens up the data tab, and I can put in the information for my G83. I just do a save and calculate. You can see the wireframe of the toolpath is showing me exactly what I'm looking for in terms of the pattern. So top to bottom, This one, if I go back to my linear, let's make this a pattern that looks like that. You can see it changes the direction that it travels. If I change the pattern again, you'll see that it changes how it moves. So depending on the holes you're looking to drill, you can put them in different patterns. And let's say I don't want to use these patterns at all. I want to go with the default, but I don't like the order that they were in. If I go and edit this, tool hole 1 should actually be hole 2. So I'll just move that. If you take a look at the purple lines there, let me just get rid of that wireframe. And then I'll just show the pattern again. Now I've shifted them around. So if you don't find the pattern you're looking for here, just rely on your default and then choose them in the order that you like, either actually manually choosing them individually, or you can choose them and then modify them. Any questions on this or anything else from SolidCAM, just give us a call at 1-866-975-1115, extension 2, and stay tuned for the rest of the videos in this introductory series. Thanks for watching.